So this podcast is dedicated to my good friend Joan Blake Savoy, who basically comes from the same region of northern New Brunswick I come from. It's sort of the Shore Local Service District region from Blackland to Nash Creek. A lot of communities, a lot of Catholic and Protestant enclaves. But what's important to remember, like every small town in Canada and the States, we had a certain way of doing things. Now, for the youth of the 1970s and 80s, we had much leisure time when we weren't in school, especially in the summer. You know, get on your CCM bike, go for a drive to the beach, go to the convenience store. Many of us picked up bottles on the side of the road, cashed them in for candy, for sports cards, whatever. But usually, in every small community did that, there was a kind of an arcade or like a pinball machine place and a small convenience store. Now, we were lucky in Nash Creek. We had several convenience stores or livery stores, but the key one was something called Hickey's Lucky Dollar in what I call downtown Nash Creek. The downtown Nash Creek is so small, if you blink, you're going to miss half it. Now, what was kind of weird here, now the Lucky Dollar was majority kind of a, like you see in Needs and Feeds now, a lot of sweets, a lot of junk food, a lot of cards. You would basically get your $2 or $1 allowance, go there, load up on penny candy, load up on Nielsen chocolate bars, Bar 6, Sweet Marie, all the different versions of the Lowney and Nielsen. Sometimes it was, the McCormick's as well. And buy your baseball or hockey cards. Now we would share the candy, trade the cards. Sometimes we'd pick up bottles on the side of the road in the spring runoff to help pay for it. But imagine this. It was like a Stephen King story gone good, not like Stand By Me. All the kids would go there on their bikes. Everybody was in good humor. Everybody would drop in. And the parents would drop in for normal groceries, and their kids would be treated. But inside the Lucky Dollar had a special section that had the food, the junk food products, the Hostess chips, the candy, and it was like almost like a multiple, I don't know what you would call it, like a multiple trays, like levels. Now, I do remember comic books were not sold there. It was mostly at McIntosh, Savesy, and Jacket River. But you go in there, the Hall's lozenges were there, the different candies, sometimes Tic Tacs, boxes of Smarties, like the loose candy. And the hockey cards would be in the old OPG or Topps count boxes with the prominent, pictures of the cards in the front of the box that was left up. And if you're lucky, when the boxes were emptied, you could ask the owners there, and they would give you free stuff. Now, we did have a place nearby that had a couple of pinball games. Not an arcade, not like Sherman's Canteen in Jacket River, which is the big arcade. But I know every small town had something similar. But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If you know Nash Creek, what stands out is the big Catholic church and graveyard that was within, 500 meters of this location. It's now apartment buildings in Nash Creek. Now, and the sea was right by. And on a beautiful day, the sun would be high in the sky. Shadows would be very dramatic, very memorable, and the warm, cool breeze of the sea, the Bay of Chaleur, would come in, and that 2-kilometer stretch was nothing but scenic. It looked at like something out of a 1950s documentary about small town America, but this is small town Canada. But the thing is, every time we buy chocolate bars or buy hockey cards or different stuff from the North Shore that the people still collect and enjoy this chocolate, memories of these convenience stores come to mind, like the ones in Beresford, Pitterush, Jacket River, Charlotte, all the area. And one thing we have a connection up home, we have a great appreciation of small town life for the people. It's the small things that made us big. Joining together at church, going for a pop and a chip there, getting allowance money or the pop bottle money, and just treating ourselves. And, times have changed, and, I still collect and I still eat these chocolate bars, but it's not the same. When you're a kid on your bike, and you can ride any place, there was no worry about being hurt or being attacked. There was no violence. There was little bullying besides school. We didn't know how good we had it. Now, I look back, and for me, this is about The best era of the 70s, of course, I think was 73 to 79 because we had the Montreal Olympics. Montreal Canadiens were big, the Alouettes, the sports teams, schools, Nash Creek and Jack River and Dalhousie had some really, really cool students. It just seemed like a time that was meant to be. So if you listen to this podcast, just remember you're not alone. If you remember those years with fondness, especially the 1970s and 80s, early 80s, there's a reason. They were great times. Like in 2021, there's a lot more going on in the world that stops things like this. Sure, we got computerization. Sure, we got more money. We got more jobs. But, it may sound like a cliche, but we didn't know how good we had it at the time because every moment that we spent seemed to have value, seemed to have quality. Like, you might have quantity of time left, but it's quality right now. And that passed on everybody that grew up in the North Shore in the 1970s and 80s. When things are going good, we go around with a smile on our face because we not only survived the poverty that brought us to the level of appreciation, we've thrived, and we're all over the province of New Brunswick. So if you have that North Shore mentality in you, this podcast is for you. And of course, Joan Blake Savoy, who's a podcaster and author in her own right. And don't forget the Brunswick Independent Authors Association that we're a part of. We're a non-profit that promotes independent writers in the Brunswick, self-published. Of course, anti-vanity press. But just if you have a story to tell, check out our association. It's on Facebook, the Brunswick Independent Authors Association. It's a private group. And we try to encourage people that are into the strength of the word to impart what life should be all about. We're the group for you. So, thanks for listening. And if you're going out tonight, treat yourself to a Kit Kat. If you're over the age of 50, and just remember the good times. Have a good day. Bye.